Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Inside Spurs. Good to see you again. I hope you're all well. Hope you're enjoying your rest of your Monday. Obviously, this is going to come out really quickly behind my thoughts and opinions about the Wolves game. So, look, if they come out really quickly, you've got yourself some evening watching to do. Going to be talking about ins and outs. There's been lots of updates today. One of the quartet, you could say, of Conte's men to get rid of has seemed like he's got himself a new option now. So we're talking about a little bit about that. We're talking about a little bit about a player coming in, and a player that we were really heavily linked with, had offers, and it didn't go well, suffered a devastating injury tonight. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, comment, like, subscribe, let me know about your thoughts about sort of these ins and outs that are coming in. And let's get into it. So, in terms of the player of the quartet that is supposed to be leaving it, that's Sergio Reguilon. Reggie, whatever you want to say about it. So, came out today through The Athletic, and if it's going to come out from anyone in The Athletic, it's Ornstein, David Ornstein. He's the guy. So, according to Ornstein, it says that Spurs are in talks with Nottingham Forest over a loan deal for Reguilon. Talks with the club in recent weeks, and Forest seek cover for Omar Richards. Spurs will want the full salary covered, which is not outrageous. We all know Forest have got money. They've been spending money more than anyone. I'll tell you what, their fans can't be upset amount of players that are coming in. I think they're on their, 800th signing of the summer? So, yeah, I mean, it's a great source to be saying that. Ornstein, of all people, other than, people that like Romano or Alistair Gold, this is the other guy. This is the main guy. I think it's a good move for Reguilon. And also for Forest, he's Prem proven. He is competent at left back. Look, he got injured. Session came in and played very, very well. Perisic now is here. He's just sort of the odd one out. It's not to say that he's a bad fullback. I just don't think he is the level that we need him to be for us to kick on to another level, if you know what I mean. Whereas I think Perisic is, really, really great for us right now, and Session can be another sort of Danny Rose in a way. So it is unfortunate about how it all really ended with Reguilon, but I think it's the right move. I do think it's the right move. I think it's kind of ironic that we want to get rid of all these players and they're all going out on loan. I thought we would actually make some more sales, if I was honest. So that's a little bit intriguing if you think about it. But no, I think it's a good move. I know he was linked with Brighton a couple of weeks ago, but that sort of died down. They signed a fullback. I thought he was going to go to Sevilla, but obviously they got Alex Tellers on loan. So I think that we're the 22nd of August. It's just right to move him out now. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think Forest is a good move. And do you know what? If we can strengthen the smaller teams in the Premier League to make them better against the teams that are around us, then why not, is all I'd say about that. So that's the first one. In terms of another one out, this wasn't part of the quartet that Conte didn't want. There's actually a player that Conte does want. And Conte, what he said about players, that if players are in the squad that are going to be used who want to leave, then we have to replace them. So Valencia are set to complete the agreement for Bryan Hill on loan until June 2023. No buy option clause discussed as of now. I don't want him to be sold at all. He was a brilliant youngster for Spain. One of the best ones to come out of Spain in a little while. Obviously, we know about the Pedris and the Ansu Fatis and things like that. But Bryan Hill was another one. For me, they said only a couple of weeks ago he wasn't going to be leaving. I was hoping he wouldn't leave, if I was honest. But it is what it is. It's more game time. I do really think he needs to bulk up, though. I really think he needs to put some weight on, because look how Kulusevski came in and did the job in his position as a left footer as well. Came in, did the job because he can handle the physicality, whereas Bryan Hill, it's just, he needs to put on probably about 10, 15 pounds of muscle to withstand the Premier League. So I hope he does that, to be honest. I know Spain's not a very physical league, but I really hope he does that, and I really hope he opens his mind to putting on a little bit of weight, because I know Spain maybe is more of a technical league, but if you want to be a success in the Premier League, you need to be able to handle it. You need to be able to handle physicality. You need to be able to handle teams that have quite large teams. You think of Brentford's, for example, that are quite physical. I think Brian would get eaten up a little bit, so he needs to put on a bit of weight, if I'm honest. But look, again, it's one of those things. I hope Valencia have covered his wages and we get a few million out of the deal, and I don't mind that as much, but we do need to bring in a replacement. Now, speaking about replacements, so Alistair Gold, the man himself, He did say that Spurs still hold an interest in Anthony Gordon, but obviously Chelsea are definitely the front runners for that. I like Gordon. I always said I did, but when they've had a £45 million bid rejected for Anthony Gordon, it does make me a bit iffy. I thought 30 million, I thought, yeah, that's an all right deal actually, but he's played, 51, 52 games in the Premier League? We're getting above the 50 million mark. For me, I don't think he's worth that at all. The output in terms of goals and assists aren't there for that kind of money. So I think we'd be better off looking elsewhere, in my opinion. If that's the case, I still really like him, but that's what I'd say. Paratici, he also went on to say, Paratici is also a big admirer of Newcastle Alan Saint-Maximin and Wolves winger Adama Traore. I think Adama would be the cheap one of them all. I think you'd probably get him for somewhere in 10 to 15 million. Prem proven, could probably play wing back if we really needed him to, but I know he wasn't very keen on that in the first place. But Alan Saint-Maximin, we all saw, he's a big game player. On his day, he can tear apart any defence in the world. It would be interesting to give Sonny a run for his money a little bit. I'm not to say he'd take Sonny's place, but Sonny wouldn't be sitting there going, I'm going to play every week now, week in, week out, 90 minutes. He's already getting substituted on the 75th minute. If you get Alan Saint-Maximin coming in, Richarlison still is that backup striker to Kane, and he can play the winger role if we needed him to. Somewhere around 40 to 50 million. I think Saint-Maximin's output is better than Gordon's for sure. And also I think he really is that speedy winger that can just beat 2 or 3 people in a heartbeat, So, but Adama's the cheap one, so I don't know what they'll do, because I think there's still quite a bit of money left around in the coffers as well. So, look, I of the three would like Alan Saint-Maximin, but if we're talking about, if we're going to get, say, Adama in, who's quite cheap, because obviously you've got Brian Hill just going on loan, who's going to only get you a few million. Yeah, maybe Adama's quite cheap. Maybe we get him on loan. Maybe that's the thing that we do, which it's not outrageous. I don't hate it. But for me, I said this as well to a couple of Spurs fans. If we're going to lose a player who's left-footed, who's an attacking winger, I would like a player to come in who's left-footed as an attacking winger. I like having more than one option. Obviously, we've got Decky, who's left-footed, but if he was to be injured, I'd like another player just to offer that difference. I know Sessegnon probably could play further forward, or Perisic and things like that, but I'd like another left-footer if possible. But when you think of Gordon, you think of Saint-Maximin, you think of Adama, they're all right-footed, so I don't know about that. The other one was Malinowski from Atlanta. I saw he was obviously getting some offers from France. He did play quite well at the weekend. He came on to score a goal for Atalanta against Milan. He's not really liked by Gasperini because they've got Ilicic. But is he the level of player that we need to kick on to the next level? I don't know. He'd be cheaper than some of the other options we're interested in, and maybe that's what they're thinking. And, we filled up the squad quite nicely, but 1 or 2 more for good depth is never an issue. I wouldn't hate that. I think we look at City's bench. City's bench looked a little bit fragile at times last weekend. Chelsea need a lot of depth. Arsenal still need depth. United need first teamers and depth. Liverpool probably still need some depth. If we can be the team in the 6 that goes, no, we've actually got solid depth. Here's our starting 11, and the drop off to the depth isn't really there, if I'm honest. We're sitting in a really good position, Some teams that started slow this year, I think that's important that, we make the most of that as well. Chelsea have started a little bit slower. United have started slow. No matter what happens tonight, United have started slow. Liverpool started fairly slow. City on the same points as us, and Arsenal 2 points clear, but haven't really played anyone. There's a lot of teams that have started slow that's supposed to be good this season. So if we can continue building that depth, that we go into the season and we play the Champions League, Cup competitions and the Premier League, there really is no drop-off in performance. That could be the move. And yeah, just this the one that we obviously were heavily linked with. I think we even had virtually a bid accepted, but we're in heavy discussions. The player really wanted us, and then the main man stepped in. Mourinho stepped in. So I'm talking about Zaniolo. Suffered a dislocated shoulder today. The man is so unlucky with injuries. You can't call him injury prone for a dislocated shoulder. That's not something that just happens. It's not a hamstring injury. It's not a calf injury. ACLs aren't something that hereditary. You don't just rupture an ACL. I have ruptured an ACL. It was a freak accident. No one was even around me when it happened. I was playing football, but no one was even around me. it's the same with him. And it's such a shame to see that because he is such a good player. He is an Italian wonder kid. He's one of the best things to come out of Italy in a very long time. And I really hate to see that happen. I have always been the person to say, that's the guy that I really want. He can play the attacking option. He can play a bit further back, left-footed, all these things. I really, really like him. And if he's costing the same sort of money as Gordon, it's night and day between the two. But it's such a shame. He's definitely not going to be moving this summer. That's for sure. But I think Roma are also probably looking at it now going, God, he's had 2 ACLs, he's had dislocated shoulder, he's had a lot of muscle strain injuries. We're not going to get 50 million again. And maybe they're just happy to say, look, he's going to be a good player in Serie A for a long time. He'll be our player. No one's going to really come for him now. But maybe they're also thinking that was the move. The £50 million offer, that was the move that we should have gone for. So I don't know about that. But yeah, it's a shame to see. But yeah, Ins at the moment, I think that will start to heat up a little bit once Brian goes out the door. Conte said he replaced the players that are going to be used this year. So Reguilon, Lo Celso and Ndombele, Winks, they're not going to be used, right? Brian Hill was going to be used. So therefore, he wants someone in to replace Brian, which makes logical sense. If Tanganga goes out the door, he wants someone in to replace Tanganga. Which I'd like to see another centre-half come in. I think the depth still isn't there fully. I think if you lose Tanganga, when you think your backup three, in a way, I'm not saying they are who'd start, who wouldn't start, Longley, Sanchez and Tanganga, if one goes, you want one to come in. I don't mind it as much being an out-and-out centre-half, a bit of a project for, an Englishman, for example. I don't have too many issues with that because, look, they're not going to start every single game, but nice League Cup game here and there, get some confidence, build on that next season, becomes a bit more of a bigger game player for us. I have no issues with that. But wait and see, I think that will heat up a little bit in the coming days once we obviously start to move players. Tanganga still has a lot of interest from the 2 Milan clubs in Italy. So I have to wait and see, really. But yeah, and then on Winks, it's sort of dried up a little bit. I think he's still holding up for this Valencia move. So let's pray, Gattuso. Let's pray, mate. Come and get this man, okay? Well, he's here. He's here. A lot of us, I had a mate said he'd drive him there. So let's get him gone. And hopefully Gattuso comes in and gets him. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, those 4 magical things. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you want to come in if we do let Brian Hill go. And let me know about any outs that you think should happen or maybe shouldn't happen. But anyway, guys, that's everything. And I will see you all very, very soon.